Hello, classmates and professor. My name is Juan Esteban. This afternoon, I will read an article from Science Direct titled Accounting and the Shifting Spheres, the Economy, the Public, the Planet. Reading behind the volume. Abstract. Accounting sense of place and purpose is informed by social imaginaries. The imaginaries of the sphere of the economy, the public, and the planet help accountants make sense of their surroundings and the world at large, help them coordinate and form alliance with other forms of expertise and frame their understanding of what matters. Recent disputes over materiality and declaration by the profession to serve the people and the planet suggest that accounting's sense of place and position is variable, yet its long-standing imaginaries indicate that it is also regular and steady by discussing how imaginaries of the economic, the public, and the planet prefigure how accounting connects use with the world from our viewpoints. The paper makes a case for paying more attention to how these imaginaries shape our understanding of what accounting is about and can become how they might lock accounting into position and use with it. Professor stormed its New York meeting as Brian Moynihan, chief executive of Bank of America, was opening on green audit rules. The suggestion that green activists have never been too bothered about accounting is perhaps an exaggeration and an exception gap. Regarding environmental accounting has been in evidence for quite a while. The extent to which the accounting profession lately seems to be inviting in the opposition by declaring itself at the service of the people on the planet. However, might have surprised even observed observers. In 2020 and 2015, upon considering other developments in the realm of corporate reporting, such as sustainability reporting and non-financial corporate governance reporting, the IFRS have felt that we should stick the old thread. In 2021, it used the COP26, the United Nations Global Summit of Climate Change, to announce the creation of the International Sustainability Standards Board (ISSB) as the Dowdy Global Accounting Standards Body, has been working through new phone sensitivity questions about what accounting is and who it should before have been resurfacing not just among gatecrashing activists or, for that matter, accounting academics. That uncertainties about accounting's place and purpose have been cutting through, though the exercise of professional judgment is nowhere more apparent than in recent debates about materially one accounting's core metaphors for what is considered relevant. For many, in no sense obvious that the shareholder primacy on the written the understanding of materially in financial accounting misses the point. Sustainability reporting frameworks from the GRI the CACP and the newly created ISSB would, however, had taken a variety of positions between what is now increasingly called single materially what matters in relation to an accounting entity as a collection of financial assets and what has come to be known as double materiality, in addition taking into account with matters of the environment um, an accounting entity and to the into a wider range of stakeholders of the essence than practitioners, activists, and academics have been taking sides with the advocates of single or double financial of impact materiality. They have been taking position as whether according the craft that was had no essence shall more fundamentally reinvent itself or hold on to the time-honored orientation accounting for the people and the planet, but only so far as will be relevant for a portfolio of financial assets. The present paper explored this current moment of oscillation between fundamental cause correlation and a mere will be drawing attention to the social imaginaries that inform accounting's sense of place and purpose. More particularly, the paper will found that the imaginaries of a sphere of the economy, the public, and the planet, all three of which are associated with accounting present quest for orientation. Accounting discourse is rife with spheres, and these spheres are used to refer to the world out there as we thinking is and as thinking it is. However, if we try to make out these spheres economy, the public, the planet, or the private sphere, the political sphere, some sphere of influence, and so on across across landscapes, buildings, or wherever, our understanding of spheres who how make use draw lines between what is economy, public, private, and so on. It will be a curious exercise and quickly common use that spheres are mere figures of speech. At the same time, I can trust that you and I will share a sense of space that allows you to though speak of them with confidence. Sphere figure prominently among the metaphors we lay by. It only or so it appears we do not take them too literally. To consider spheres as a social imaginaries address them as ways people imagine their social existence, how they fit together with other, how things go on between them and their follows the expectation that are normally met and the deeper normative notions and image that underlie this expectation. As social imaginaries spheres exist within a reservoir of norms and discourse, metaphors, and cultural meanings, a reservoir which accountants share with ordinary people. The contrast between what makes a sphere a sphere as a solid figure that is completely round with every point on its surface at an equal distance is completely round with every point on its surface. Sorry, I have error. I am I tried. A solid figure that is completely round with every point on in on its surface at an equal distance from the center, and what a sphere refers to collection of things and concepts marked out with various kinds of adjectives: economy, political, public, private, etc., or other qualifiers, spheres or influence, interest, activity, etc. Characterize sphere as metaphors. They help you make sense of one kind of thing in terms of another, and thus fulfill their role as a social imaginaries by helping us envision order in our social surroundings. Accounting is a metaphorical enterprise, and as such it mobilizes a wide range of metaphors. Accounting scholars have been highlighting how auditors consider challenges of professional judgment by drawing on the root metaphors of the machine and the organism. They have been showing that financial risk is articulated as an adversary or a disease among countless other metaphors, no least number has been considered as the metaphor for accountants to live by, by, by metaphors involving emotions, ethos, moral and ideologies, and can relate broader world theories. Speaking of sphere hence is one among accounting many metaphorical choice when making sense of itself and the world it takes place in. Science recognition on metaphorical uses in accounting does not in itself provide much insight into the rationalities for metaphorical choice. Understanding with spheres remain popular metaphors and imaginaries of our surroundings requires a closer look a- at how spheres allow use to speak of accounting and its place in the world, despite Anthony Howe's well-known allusion that the shifting sphere of the economy spheres have not become notions of systematical interest among accounting scholars. So in the graphic, orbit surface sky audience as in public sphere, colonial sphere, sphere of consumption. Center, radius scope, reach, rank as in sphere or influence, interest, action, control. Atmosphere, atmosphere contains climate essence as in public sphere, private sphere, political sphere, sphere of the economy, center, hair, hood, core, as in a sphere of government, a sphere of the market value sphere, including including where they have been interested in the influence of metaphors of accounting. This is regrettable no least because accounting's shifting spheres turn out to be more than additional entries on ever-growing list of accounting metaphors. As social imaginaries, these spheres give us both clues as to how metaphors come together relate to the world, connect with accounting practice, and come to matter, and with certain metaphors might matter more than others. In this attempt to address the oversight of spheres as social imaginaries, I will draw alongside Charles Taylor's notion of social imaginaries on Peter Sloterdijk's spherology. Sloterdijk investigates the significance of spheres as morpho-immunological constructs and immune space production, going a few steps beyond the exploration of spheres as social imaginaries that I wish to offer here for the purpose of this paper. Sloterdijk's work is nonetheless relevant and evocative because it indicates how our senses of social surroundings is animated by essential concerns about our position in the world, by our senses of vulnerability and our bearings when seeking refuge. The three shifting spheres of accounting explored here, the spheres of the economy, the public and the planet, offer us a sense of the world of their wills, also giving shape of the all concerns about our position in it, how we relate to one another in managing our exposure and vulnerability, how we look for expertise to help us out and find accountants and the ready in their ubiquitous but mostly yet present accounting shifting spheres are curiously familiar and unifamiliar at the same time. The next session will review the reference points for the tentative analysis of spheres as social imaginaries that follows. I then proceed to consider the three imaginaries of the economy, the public, and the planet in more detail. The third session discusses comparatively what these imaginaries of the world at large do for according, and how this relates to according as a social, technical, and professional practice, and the practical that is exercised in a space that trained to be anything but large, and conclude by summarizing the case for paying more attention to accounting's social imaginaries in understanding how accounting makes sense of itself, gets practiced, and might look itself into position, best intentions about connecting with the people and the planet notwithstanding. Spheres as metaphors help us understand and experience one king of thing in the terms of another. But what terms are they presenting us with? How do they help people imagine their social existence? How they fit together with others? How things, how, how things go on between them and their fellows. Speaking of spheres and colours used to relate to the word being encircled, so on it, the sphere metaphor as used reimagine your social surroundings in the terms of a geometrical shape that is formally simple, completely round with every point on its surface at an, an a angle and equal distance from the center. When we wish to speak of one king of things in spherical terms, we appeal to this geometric in several ways, indicating how the metaphor will apply. Will apply. Some spheres are identified with their center, for example, be an occupant of this center, a specific idea or concept valued sphere, person or institution. Some spheres are identified by their orbit, for example, when we consider the public sphere as if it were an assembly around an object of shared attention. Some spheres are associated with the distance of their radius. For example, when we consider spheres of interest or influence in terms of the reach of the radius. Some spheres are identified by the district one kin of them. They run up and the notion of an atmosphere suggests a linked element contained within the sphere. In speaking of spheres, we at times combine several of these identifiers, but more one than no spheres are referred to by a single aspect of the governmental metaphor. For example, speaking of a sphere of influence does not suggest anything about what is contained in the sphere. Speaking of the sphere of government suggests an orbit that is open or attracting all kinds of problems overall. Choosing to speak of sphere is strictly not a question for of having space to speak of which will be more or less round, real, or regular. The sphere metaphor calls on our spatial imagination, asking use to convince of spheres on the basis of sparse identifiers. The metaphor of the sphere thus is a starting point for social imaginaries that we construct from a selected articulation of spherical terms, as the case of the economy, the public, and the planet will illustrate. Spheres can be found just about anywhere in scholarly discourse about social order, even if social theories rarely choose to enfranchise the metaphor as a theoretical term. The allusion to all other spheres in the quoted above is simple symptomatic of a theoretical discourse that refers to spheres mostly in passing. The sphere metaphor is widely used in the indication of social space, despite not representing conceptual status, remaining an ordinary socially imaginary in Taylor's sense. Even among the theoretically minted, the metaphor is particularly prominent, where multiplicities of order are being articulated which are taken to exist side by side. For example, where difference between political, economic, legal, religious, ethical, or scientific patterns of activity are being considered, whilst such differences then do be explored more systematically in non-spherical terms, say, as difference between systems or institutional logics. The sphere metaphor serves as a vernacular shorthand for referring to such differences in spatial terms. The idea of value spheres belong in this context of social theories trying to come to terms with the fragmentation of the social world by spatializing its difference. The classical reference point is Weber's discussion of religion. The other prominent case of a sphere metaphor receiving more systematic attention in theoretical discourse is the public sphere, whereas Weber saw the public sphere as a kind of cultural countergate of the iron cage, but not as a public sphere swineries. Other social theorists, most notably Hannah Arendt and Durkheim, made the public sphere a central notion for understanding the constitution of social order, and Hannah Arendt in particular speaks of the public realm as the space in which human beings encounter each other and truly get the reality of their shared world. If the world is a contained, a public space, it can it can be erected for one generation and planned for the living only. It must transcend the lifespan of mortal men. Without this transcendence into a potential early, immortality, no police, strictly speaking, no common world, and no public realm is possible. Arendt's idea of the public sphere emphasizes its character as a special space where order is collectively maintained which Habermas is more interested in its descriptive constitution. These occasions are among the few where theoretical discourse overlaps with the use of the sphere metaphor as a social imaginary. Against this general backdrop, Peter Sloterdijk's triple-down investigation of the spheres presents an unprecedented attempt to make sense of the presence of the sphere among humans and their discourse, practices, and artifacts. Sloterdijk's treatment breaks down into a microspherically concerned with intimate human bubbles, a macrospherology of globes at large scale, attempts at space formations, and a plural spherology. The pervasive theme of this investigation of Shepard's smart, dark, and multiple is is the idea that spheres are morpho-immunological constructs that respond to our existential senses of vulnerability during what Sloterdijk calls our exodus in the open. The sphere is in the disclosed, shared realm inhabited by humans, because living always means building spheres, both on a small and a large scale. Humans are the beings that establish, close, and look out into horizons. Living in spheres means creating the dimension in which humans can be contained. According to Sloterdijk, our quest for containment begins with the loss of every human's first ally, the pleasant open bear. The pleasant is replaced by the mother, then the bubble of the family, and the more intimate relationships and friendships we get into, the space of containment and refuge can be understood as spaces which are a variety of major resources of our co-presence. One aspect of this is sound from the acoustic baptisms in this world, to the sharing communal space behind in earshot in a constituted listening community that includes humans in the immaterial realms of mutual accessibility, bodily co-presence, and mutual visibility, somewhat analogous to women's ecological huddles, often suffice to establish microspheres with the use of technology from sound algorithm and other media, essence or ability to bubble up by sharing each other's voice, words and discourse, as right now, you and I do at this moment. The inscription of spheres in physical space from edges and wounds to fireplace hoods, settlements, and cities, with spheres becoming aspects of the built environment fortifies human abilities at sustain and extending growth. Specific media and atmospheres share in terms of air, sound, or text. The path upwards from small spheres to ever large space of coherence is the topic Slaughter's macro-spherology. It progresses from circles around fireplaces to hoods and round villages to cities, states, and empires. The fortification of cities against real or imagined enemies is seen as a symbolic expression of the protective role of the shared space. For Slaughter, the early bit cities present morphological experience, testing the possibility testing the possibility of creating a large-scale world as a self-incubating inner and private world, where the disproportionality the walls can only be understood as immunological phenomena. Contemporary anxieties about national borders might express immunological concerns similar to those among the wildest of exotic city, whilst thousands of years ago. The persistence of such concerns over the course of human history, notwithstanding In Sludgy view, our attempts at ever greater space formation have been unsuccessful. Sludgy observes that nation-state as the last will be grand content of shared co-presence and collective climate suffers from some everyday unpleasant drafts here and there. No added omens common in shared space mostly, no on the basic boundaries drawn into in the landscapes but on the basis of shared tastes, interests, uses, using a variety of media to teach on a main connection. Now it is the individuals who, perhaps for the first time in the history of hominic and human life forms, break away from their group buddies which had been their prime protectors as carriers of immunity competition. The instructor of an only fitness class will have at least as good a chance of connecting with you and your worries of behind some safe some ads. The Prime Minister promising to stop the boats, or some warning use about the side effects of coronavirus vaccines on social media. We are no longer at home in on one shared space. The world promises use safety, identity, and spiritual resilience, like the empires of all. In Sloterdijk spherologi- spherological terms, we have ended up in a world of forms, large agglomeration of bubbles in the senses of microspherical investigations. One could reformulate it thus: so the one Earth has imploded, now the forms are alive, sharing space and collective atmospheres has become a matter of the technical augmentation of small space from the air we breathe to the climates we create, from the messages we receive to those we create, from the rooms we decorate to the cities and infrastructures we build. We have also developed new concepts, most notably of the environment and the immune system, to make sense of vulnerabilities in a more systematic manner, supported by scientific expertise. We monitor that we breathe, read it and communicate what we pass on to others has become a matter of maintenance, no longer a matter of erecting a building in an environment, but rather of installing an environment in the building. The spheres we inhabited are space we deliberately set up, monitor, and control for what gets in and out. Where there was light world, there must now be air conditioning technology, and this technology applies itself to all forms of cultural and material production, from what goes into our lungs, what covers our skin enters into our stomach, animates or means the implicit atmospheric atmospheric climate techniques Among people sharing kinship, body leak, co-present language, and habits all at all at the same time, have been replaced by technology that allow us to connect across a multitude of small spheres, tuning in the with one another on a partial and episodic basis. We still work through our worries of being safe in the world be seeking contained in spheres but rather than doing so in one collectively reserved space of shared existence. This has become a matter of choosing and managing how we connect with one another from um, our own small and medium-inflated bubbles, to consider a space not just as metaphors, but as morpho-immunological constructs. Along these broad lines treat them as a social space that are material in every sense of the word. In strategic views, spheres are not conceptual or metaphorical abstractions from social space. They are these spaces in which we connect and experience, co-present maintaining unique atmospheres through textual, architectural, sonic, visual, and other social and material means considered in the present context of exploring spheres as a social imaginary. Sloterdijk offers a wide range of observation as to why and how spheres matter of the us, even if a found sociality has taken over how we share space with on another. We still appear to larger scale sphere in making senses of the economy sphere is not a cyclical space in which we all meet and trade. We can now construct the public sphere as an actual assembly of 8 billion humans behind, and we struggle to identify any workable proposals for sharing the planet. In other words, these spheres don't work as a space formation in the psychical senses in which they are being discussed because Lodderdick. Nevertheless, distinct affinities to connect with one another as well as specific concerns about our vulnerability to the world will become evident for all three causes of spheres as social imaginaries. The first point to take forward from Sloterdijk spherologists is therefore that spheres are linked to how we construct and understand shared space in which we connect with one another and for aliens to manage our vulnerability to the world. A second point to take forward relates to the position in which we are making use of our social imaginaries. We connect with one another through a variety of media that we manage, monitor, and adjust from our bubbles on the basis of mediated co-presence. This point will be important in considering the relationship between spheres as imaginaries of the world at large and our position in bubbles that are much smaller. Both points are relevant for understanding accounting's position in in its current moment of vacillation, the first indicating how spheres and social imaginaries direct and coordinate accounting practice in relation to what matters. The second be reminding use of the content of accounting as practice in space that are much more content of accounting as practice in space that are much more modest than the space which our social imaginaries encourage use to consider following the discussion of spheres at social imaginaries in the next session. 2. We will be get back to these 2 points respectively, 3.1 and 3.2. In conclusion, speaking of spheres present use with the challenge to understand the current position of accounting between social imaginaries of the world, a large, a large and the small space in which we dwell and connect with what and who is out there. Eh, bueno, pues compañeros, en este caso pues leí como la primera parte de, del artículo. Leí la parte como tal de introducción, el abstract, el resumen, y lo que vendría a ser lo que habla de las esferas, donde acá el hombre empieza a hablar de las esferas. Digámoslo que yo lo que pude como tal apreciar está relacionado el documento, el artículo relacionado con la contaduría pública, analiza, dado que analiza como el papel de la contabilidad en diferentes esferas, la económica, la pública y pues a nivel general mundial, explora también cómo interactúa esto con el entorno social, la contabilidad, tanto en el entorno social y económico, e incluye debates sobre sostenibilidad, responsabilidad y material contable. Pero no se centra solamente en eso, se ve más allá. Además, pues como así, digámoslo, para tener en cuenta, el artículo analiza cómo los imaginarios o todo eso que está en nuestra imaginación en la parte económica, pública y planetaria influyen en todos estos temas contables, en la contabilidad, en la economía eh, y como tal el propósito que tiene. Ah, yo, pues, digámoslo, aproveché la inteligencia artificial, en este caso, pues, ChatGPT. Le solicité leer el artículo. Me puso como 3.4 puntos de relevancia. Uno es, pues, explica el propósito, pues, como tal, lo que contiene el artículo, pues, como el artículo en 4 partes, resumen y palabras clave, que es la primera página. Ya después viene la introducción, el problema, el contexto y la importancia del estudio, de lo que se hace, cómo se desarrolla. Y ya en la parte 3 que vienen todas las sesiones sobre las esferas económicas, pública y planetaria, que son los temas como tal del documento. Y ya por último finaliza con los hallazgos. El propósito del artículo, según lo que pudo comprender la inteligencia, fue que es analizar cómo los imaginarios sociales de la esfera económica, pública y planetaria influyen en la contabilidad, su sentido de propósito y su papel en la sociedad. Explora cómo estos imaginarios afectan la práctica contable, su relación con otras disciplinas y la percepción de su impacto en el mundo. Además, cuestiona si la contabilidad debe redefinirse para servir mejor a la sociedad y al planeta. De la misma manera, pues yo revisando ahí, le solicité que revisaran que se relacionaba con la contaduría y me dice que analiza el papel de la contabilidad en diferentes esferas, económica, pública y planetaria, explora cómo la contabilidad interactúa en el entorno social y económico, incluye debates sobre sostenibilidad, responsabilidad pública y material contable, aunque no se centra exclusivamente en la contaduría tradicional, sino que aborda su impacto en la sociedad y su evolución dentro de un contexto más amplio. De la misma manera, también le solicité esta primera parte que les leí, que sería el 1 sobre las esferas. Dice que en la primera parte del artículo se introduce la idea de que la contabilidad está influenciada por los imaginarios sociales de tres esferas: la economía, la pública y la planetaria. Se discute cómo estos imaginarios ayudan a los contadores a interpretar su entorno y lo que los rodea, colaborar con otras disciplinas, definir qué es importante en su labor. También menciona cómo la contabilidad evoluciona en respuesta a debates sobre materialidad, sostenibilidad, destacando la necesidad de reflexionar sobre su papel en la sociedad y el planeta. Compañeros, profesor, muchas gracias por la atención prestada. Les deseo una feliz noche y un feliz resto de semana. Hasta luego.